Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of the Horror Debate. I'm Michael Mandy, and he's Rowdy Jeff.
And this week's debate, I know who killed Mike. I know who killed me.
I know what killed a good evening.
I know who killed me from 2007, directed by Chris Syverson.
It looks like it, Syverson.
Is that how you say it? Syverson? Syversonston? What? Yeah, something like that. From 2007, I think I said that already, starring
Lindsay Lohan.
Yes, everybody's favorite Herbie character. You know,
yeah.
I mean, she and it's
from
good.
Freaky Friday.
It's good to see her kind of branching out a little bit.
It was.
You know, well, no,
it wasn't.
I'm not saying about the quality of what she did. Okay, I'm saying it's good to see her at least trying different things. Some people get really pigeonholed, you know, and they just kind of do the same thing throughout their career. And at least she's trying something to get a little bit of serious, acclaim going on here.
But it didn't work.
Well, that's your opinion. We haven't gotten into this thing yet. You know, what is the plot of this thing, Mike? First of all, I got to say the title intrigued me.
Okay.
When I was watching I guess the trailer came on. If I remember correctly, how this all went down, the trailer came on my TV, and I missed the actual trailer, but I saw the end where it said, "I know who killed me," and I was like, "Whoa! I got to rewind. I got to back that up and see what that is." That's a very cool title. I like that.
So the best thing about this movie is the title.
So far.
No,
but honestly, I mean, it's not that bad of a thing, and that's why when I watched it, I said, Mike, you got to check this out. We got to debate this because I knew you'd be up in arms about the whole thing. Number one.
Well, only one arm.
And I love to get only one arm. I love to get you up in arms about stuff. You know that. and secondly, I said, we'll probably see this a little bit differently, so it'd make for a good debate. So. Anyway,
what's the plot of this film, Mike?
Well, exactly. That's what I was just about to say. What is the plot of this film, Mike?
The plot of this film is Lindsay Lohan is supposed to be an upper-class, all-American high school or college girl. You know, they have 30-year-olds playing high school kids now. But she's supposed to be in school, and she's an aspiring writer, and everything's just peachy keen, and some guy kidnaps her, chops off her left arm and left leg, and then she wakes up, and she's a totally different person. Call me Dakota. I don't know who this is, and I don't know, but I got no leg and no arm.
Right.
It's like, okay.
Well,
that's a new one.
Okay, but you got to admit, when you're watching the trailer, I don't know if you saw the trailer, but you got to admit that when you saw the trailer, you went, dang, what's going on here? And I got to admit, at the end of the movie, I was still kind of going, hey, what's going on here? I mean, I
You're
got
not
it.
the only one.
I got it. I got where they were trying to go with this thing, but it's not all terrible.
I got it, and I didn't want it.
You didn't want to get it. I know. I made you get
Actually, no, I did. It's just, I was impressed with everyone except Lindsay Lohan.
Actually, that's true.
You know what? She belongs in Herbie Gets Loaded, or whatever
I don't know. I don't know. Did you say Herbie Gets Loaded?
Yeah, or whatever the heck that movie is.
No, she gets loaded, gets in a car accident with Herbie, ends up in court.
Exactly.
Right, okay, that's how it goes down. No, the deal is this, Mike. This was a good story. This was actually written very well.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I like the premise behind this, and I like how it kind of caught you with the title, and you went, I know who killed me. What could that possibly mean? Obviously, she's still alive. What's going on? And you had to kind of think that, okay, maybe there's like this multiple kind of personality thing going on here. But
this movie had ridiculousness thrown all over it, and I'm not blaming Lindsay Lohan for the ridiculousness. She's only responsible for what her acting. Okay, so that's fine. You're there, you're done. Okay, fine. The director on this, the writer on everything was so silly.
It was a little silly. But it wasn't silly to the point of being like stupid silly, like half the stuff you make me watch.
Yes, it was.
No.
I had my arm and leg chopped off, but I'm walking on this miraculous robotic.
They have those now, Mike. This isn't 1974 anymore.
Don't forget to plug your leg in at night.
That's right. Charge that mother.
2 days after you have
put your cell phone into the wall. You put your leg into the wall. It's the same deal. I mean, come on, Mike. It's not 74 anymore, dude. They have robotic limbs now.
Yeah, but your own personal limbs don't fall off when your twins' limbs fall off.
Well, okay, but all right.
Spoilers. So you go.
There's going to be spoilers. You can't do this movie without giving something away.
We're giving this all away.
You can't do it.
If you haven't seen this film, consider yourself lucky.
Wasn't that bad? I actually kind of dug it. I mean, in a kind of weird, kind of creepy way. I kind of dug it. I liked how they kind of took it from what you expected. When I first started watching the movie, I expected something kind of light, because I didn't expect Lindsay to go kind of real deep with it, and then. The story kind of went and took this dark turn, and it
didn't take a dark turn. It took a blue turn.
Well, and
everything was beyond neon blue.
Everything was blue
or super red.
That's not what I'm talking about.
There was so much
We'll get to the color later.
There was so
Look,
much.
He's turning red. He's talking about blue, and he's turning red.
There was so much
He's
red.
so up in arms about this movie.
There was so much over red and blue in this. I thought I left my 3D glasses at home. I was expecting, cool, a stripper, and it's in 3D.
Mikey, listen. Shut up and listen for a minute, Mikey. Come on now. Look. The story was decent. I'm saying it. I'm critical about all these things. The story had potential. It didn't live up to what I thought it could have been. But you know what? It wasn't terrible. It didn't make me want to turn the movie off. It didn't want to make...
because you kept come on, they're not going to go there.
No, well, yeah, there was a couple of those too. I'll admit that. It's not a perfect movie by any stretch of the imagination, but it didn't suck wind, is what I'm trying to say.
There's blue chunks.
The writing was pretty crisp, I have to say. The story
writing was crisp. She found the body in the middle of the forest thanks to a helpful owl.
A helpful owl?
A helpful owl. Hoo-hoo! There's the body. Come on.
Okay, listen, Mike.
And
Mikey.
She's in the hospital how long? And the body is still alive.
You're sitting here. You're overlooking this thing, dude. You're trying to. You're overthrowing this thing, dude. You're looking for some kind of art potential here. There's no art potential here, Mike.
You got that right.
But it was entertaining.
No,
I was entertained. Okay, I don't know what's wrong with you. Okay, but
they're driving in the car.
I haven't known what's wrong with you since we started this thing, dude. But listen, let me get a point out, will you?
Get your point.
Good Lord. Okay, the movie starts, right, like I was saying, and it kind of hooks you in a little bit because, at least for me, because like I said, the title got me going. I'm like, wow, this is going to be kind of a trip because, if it is a multiple personality deal, or whether it's a twin sister deal, or whether it's a third cousin deal, I got to figure this thing out.
Or identical cousins.
Hey,
the sequel to The Parent Trap, starring Leslie.
There you go. I enjoyed the flick. I'm not saying it was perfect. I'm not saying it had even made sense, in certain areas. It didn't. But I do want to say this. It was beyond my expectations for what it was. I thought this was going to be like a 1-star film. It actually ended up to be a 2-star film. Okay? And I'm giving it credit for that. Now, there was a lot wrong with the flick.
There was a lot
wrong with it. But you got to... what I'm saying is it was nice to see one of these what would you call them?
Unbelievable.
This classification of like Britney Spears and Lindsay Lohan and this classification of an actress or whatever, going into something that's a little bit, it's really considered horror light as far as I'm concerned, it's not really a horror movie, but it had enough elements of a horror movie that I thought, we could give this a look, and I knew, like I said, it would freak you out, so I was like, hey, I gotta listen to Mikey rant on this
thing. Hey, the dry ice on the hand was cool.
The dry... There were several...
I was watching that going, okay, fine.
There were several things right with this movie. There
was one thing right with it.
No, there were several things right with the movie. Come on. Some of almost all the acting was good. I mean, Lindsay, she didn't do a bad job either. I thought she was actually pretty good. I mean, you're just critical because it's Lindsay Lohan.
No, I'm not critical.
You're jaded.
I liked her be fully loaded.
You like the car. That's all you like. You didn't like her in the movie. You didn't leave the movie going, that Lindsay Lohan can act. No, you didn't do that, right?
No,
so I'm giving her credit.
Okay, just let everyone know I have kids. That's why I saw the movie.
Oh, I have kids too, and I saw the movie, and I didn't think she did a bad job.
No, I meant Herbie Fully Loaded.
Oh, yeah, no, I've seen that.
And Freaky Friday.
Yeah. She's not a bad actress, Mike.
Yeah, she's not a bad actress for a certain style of acting.
She didn't do bad in this movie either.
I thought she did.
She absolutely did not.
I thought she did.
Okay, well.
I didn't believe her.
Well, let me say this. I thought that you touched on the reds and the blues, okay, and how everything was overdone.
The surgical gloves were blue. The instruments were blue. Have you ever seen blue scissors in your life? No. In this movie, there was a blue staple gun laying on the table.
Mike, can I give you a little advice? Calibrate your TV, dude. I mean, come on. It wasn't that bad.
Yes, it was.
It was a little overdone.
The director kept... I don't want to say manipulate, but he kept pushing and pushing. My head is sore from him
Yeah.
beating me over the head.
Yeah,
Okay, whenever you see a blue color, that's the good Lindsay. Whenever you see the red color, that's the bad Lindsay. See, because the stripper
And it's
Lindsay
funny
is
that
wearing the red.
you
And
notice
then
that.
when she's flipping between, and then when she's in the cop car, let's put the red and blue flashing black and back and forth on her face. I'm sitting there going, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad.
How stupid was the boyfriend?
Oh, of course he was stupid.
How dumb was that guy?
Okay, I got a stupid question for you now. Okay, the boyfriend had to get her out of the house because the police were all around, protecting her and keeping her in custody. And she said, you got to help me. You got to get me out of here. And so he does. He takes her out. And then what's he do? Brings her right back. Where did they go? They never explained it.
Didn't they go to she went to go visit their family, right? That supposedly lost their daughter or whatever?
That's what I thought it was, but then that's what I wanted to
That's
make
where
sure.
they went!
But then how did okay, I get that now. I wasn't sure.
You sure you watched this movie,
Yes,
Mike?
I was.
Are you sure you watched this movie? You were on the phone with some
I just
chick
wanted
while
to
you were
make sure.
watching this movie.
No, I wanted to just make sure.
You
that's what
found
it was.
somebody named Lindsay in the phone book so you could pretend you were talking to Lohan.
Right.
Okay, I got it.
No, I just wanted to make sure. But then he left her. How'd she get back home?
She probably hopped on that 1 foot home. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, there were certain things in this movie that need to be fleshed out a little bit better. They didn't give you enough information in certain areas. I will admit
This
that.
movie was based upon a totally ridiculous premise, though.
It wasn't ridiculous.
Okay.
You want ridiculous?
Yeah. Husband and wife are in a hospital. Baby is born stillborn.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Hey, I'm going down the hall to this crack lady who had twins, and I'm going to buy one for $11 a month.
Wait a minute. The actual explanation behind why all this went down was completely ridiculous. If that's what you were talking about, I agree. Okay, I do agree because once I heard
the owl helping
once
her through
I
the
heard
forest.
the dude from Walking Tall, right? Once the father. Once I heard him explaining this, I was like, what?
And then she goes to the grave, and the killer signs his name on the cryptic note. God, and he even spells it out. Don't go for the blue. Go for the blue. Don't go for the red.
Well,
and he signs his name, and so they say, I know who killed me.
Yeah.
Let's go hunt him down ourselves, Dad.
Right.
Let's not involve the police.
Okay, so what you're saying is that this movie will be enjoyable if you don't even think about it.
Don't think at all. Turn the sound off and play Mystery Science Theater 3000.
See, I didn't really get that from it, Mike. I thought it was a little smarter than that.
Okay, so this guy chops off chicks' legs, and he's got 1 million prosthetic legs in his basement, but he's okay, I'm going to spoil it right there. That's not his profession. That's not his what's he do? Beat up these handicapped people and steals their legs? Or what? Why does this guy have all these 1 million prosthetic legs in the body? Is he a
he's got a fetish.
Is he a manufacturer of prosthetic legs, and so he wants to keep business up by chopping
like
chicks' legs
your
off?
pantyhose fetish? He's got a leg fetish. I mean, it's obvious, Mike. Come on now. I mean,
then why didn't he take both their legs?
Well, because you got to let them hobble around. You can't just
Why?
take both
He
their
killed
legs.
them.
Yeah,
He killed them.
It was about playing with them, Mike. That's what Like I said, dude, this reminded me a little bit of like a Saw kind of deal.
Lindsay, she was even wearing a blue nightie.
Yeah,
and he was carving her up with blue
But you know what?
knives.
Okay, but Mike, you would have enjoyed the movie more if you didn't stop and rewind the damn dance sequence 18 times. You burned that section of the DVD over and over again.
No, I skipped through it. I go, when's the stripper going to take her clothes off? Oh, wait, the stripper never takes her clothes off.
The stripper never takes her clothes off.
Okay, she's a stripper who never takes her clothes. But everyone else, all the other waitresses have no. Oh, okay. Listen, I don't care what job you're in. If someone loses a finger and is bleeding to death and passed out on the floor, they don't go, gee, you better take an extra towel on the way home.
This movie should have been rated R.
Should have been NC anybody.
It should have been rated R, and it should have had about 15 minutes more of information put in the film. Other than that, I did not find it repulsive like I thought I was going to. I did not find it repugnant. I thought the acting was solid enough. I thought the story was actually written pretty well, whether you like it or not. And I thought that it definitely had promise. Now, it did not live up to the promise that I thought it was going to. Well, let me put it this way. I thought it was going to blow at first, okay? I thought the movie was going to be a waste of time.
Lindsay blew it would be better.
Then I started to get into it, and I said, this could be a kind of a cool story. And then it had enough horror element to it.
You threw out this script and wrote a new one.
No. It had enough good stuff in it to make it work. It could have worked. It did not work as well as I would have liked it to, but I think you're being too harsh on it. I think what you're looking, you know, it.
Being too hard, she miraculously gets her leg chopped off, and 2 days later she's walking on it.
How do you know it was 2 days later?
Okay, well, eventually a week later she digs up a body who's been laying in the ground for how long and is still alive?
So I didn't catch the time frame on all this.
No,
how do
but
you
it
know it
happened-
was 48 hours later that she was up walking around to go doing a grocery shopping?
Well, they found her passed out at night and woke up the next. Wake up the next day.
Well, I didn't catch it. It was.
And then she's in the hospital.
Well, whatever.
And then they even said, you know.
Okay,
and they do DNA tests on her. Why don't they just
Right.
do a fingerprint test?
Right. This is true. I mean, there are holes, Mike, obviously, but you know, watch this movie if you got nothing else to watch. You want to.
That guy gets stabbed in the neck and goes upstairs and starts playing the piano. After he gets his hand chopped off, stabbed in the groin, bleeds to death, and then walks upstairs and starts playing the piano.
He was playing the piano at the end of the movie.
Yeah, after he gets stabbed in the groin, hand chopped off, stabbed in the neck.
Dude, no, that was before.
No, it wasn't.
Playing the piano at the very end of the movie?
When he had no hand and he's hitting the piano.
Oh,
with his bloody
No,
stuff.
you're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. At
This
the very
movie
end
just
of the movie.
filled with ridiculousness.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay.
Follow the owl, everybody. If you're searching for something in the forest, follow the owl.
Always. And follow Mike to the video store so he can get you a classic like Zombie.
Exactly. Zombie made more sense.
No, it did, because I didn't hear any of
did.
the dialogue because everybody was talking too much.
Just to let everyone know, because I know a lot of people go on the internet to learn about terrorist activities and crime and everything and how to get away. If you want to commit a crime, don't leave a note and sign your name on
This
it.
is true. Okay, Mike, what are you
This
giving
sucker
it?
should be bombed and buried.
So you're bombing it.
And you know what? If you see an owl watching you bury it, shoot it.
You are ridiculous, man. Utterly ridiculous. You know how hard I am on these flicks,
This
dude.
movie was
and
ridiculous.
I'm not even going there. I'm giving it 2 stars. I thought it was written pretty crisp. Like I said, the acting was good. Lindsay didn't completely like ruin the movie, which you know.
Yeah, I expected Lindsay to completely ruin it, and she didn't.
You thought it was ruined from the start.
No, well, no, I thought it was ruined in the middle when you know, psychiatrists would come in, say something, and then never see him again. Characters will show up, say something to further the plot, and leave.
That's what I'm telling you, Mike. That is what I'm telling you. Is that if they had 15 minutes more of fleshing out everything, because a lot of the scenes seemed like they were truncated, that they were done way too quick, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't catch everything, and then towards like 3/4 of the way through the movie, you're like, huh? Okay? And that's what I'm saying. There is enough quality here to give it 2 stars, but it's not a finished product as far as what I'm concerned. It's not finished. There should have been more to it to flesh it out. If they would have fleshed it out more, it was solid enough.
You're saying this movie, I needed to endure another half hour?
I'm saying I would personally sit you down and make you endure another half hour, dude.
God.
I would personally do it. I think it would be a better film. As it is right now, it's below average.
Yes, very below.
So I'm giving it 2. You're bombing it.
I'm bombing.
All right.
I'm Michael Mandy. He's Rowdy Jeff. We'll talk to you next week.